So first we start with simple sentences and then we move on to compound sentences, complex sentences and compound complex sentences. Let us start with simple sentences. Now simple sentences have particular patterns. If we follow those patterns, then we can write sentences very easily. Let's begin. Now what is a sentence? Anyone? Yes? Yes, a group of words. Exactly. So a sentence is a group of words that must have a subject and a verb. The subject may be visible or it may be hidden, and it has a verb. A verb is compulsory. Without a verb, a sentence cannot be formed. So you may call a verb as the heart of the sentence. A sentence must have a verb. The subject can be hidden or it can be visible. And it must make complete sense. The sentence must make complete sense. It may or may not have an object. And the order that it follows is usually subject, verb, object. Subject comes first, then comes verb, and then comes the object. Yes, logically, the word order, who is the subject, what is the verb and the object, how is the manner, where is the place, when is the time, and why is the reason or the purpose. And a sentence always begins with a capital letter and it ends with a punctuation mark. The punctuation mark may be a full stop or an exclamation mark or a question mark. Yes, it may be a declarative sentence, it may be an exclamatory sentence or an interrogative sentence. Yes, it can also be an imperative sentence. Clear? Okay. As I told earlier that a sentence must have a verb. Without a verb, a sentence cannot exist. There cannot be a sentence. So, what is a verb? Anyone? Yes, what is a verb? Yes, it shows some action. Right, correct. So a verb is a word that expresses an action. Besides an action, it can also express an occurrence or a state of being. An action, let us say for example dance, an occurrence, something happens, something occurs. Or a state of being, that something exists, it is there. For example, Julie dances every day. Now here in this sentence, Julie is the subject, it's a noun, proper noun. So subject is usually a noun or a pronoun. Here Julie is the subject, dances is the verb. Dances shows the action, so it's a verb. Similarly, Julie became a professional dancer. Now she has become. She was not earlier a professional dancer, she just used to dance every day, but due to a practice of dancing every day, now she has become a professional dancer. So we can say that Julie became a professional dancer because it happened, it occurred, she became. So it's an example of an occurrence. So became is a verb. Now there may be a state of being that Julie is a dance teacher. Now being a professional dancer for say few years, she has now become a dance teacher. So Julie is a dance teacher. Is, the verb is, shows a state of being, an existence, that she is a dance teacher. So Julie is a dance teacher. So is a verb that expresses a state of being. Clear? Alright. Now let us see what is a simple sentence. It is an independent clause. Remember there were two kinds of clauses, independent, dependent clause. The independent clause can stand on its own while a dependent clause needs an independent clause to stand on its own. So an independent clause is a group of words that contains an independent subject and a verb. And it also makes complete sense. For example, I love books. I is the subject, love is the verb, books is the object. The order that is followed is subject, verb and object. SVO. We do not write verb, subject, object or object, verb, subject or object, subject, verb. Love I books, books love I is not written. In English language, we follow subject, verb, object. So we write I love books. The simple sentence is basically a sentence. So it must have a subject and a predicate. A predicate consists of verb and an object. So the format is subject, verb plus object. In the earlier sentence, I love books. I is the subject, love books is the predicate. The predicate can be divided into verb and object. So here the verb is love and the object is books. So subject is the actor, the doer who does an act. Verb is the act that is being done by the subject. And object is the receiver of the act done by the subject. Subject is usually a noun or a pronoun, and an object can be a noun phrase or any phrase behaving as a noun, or it can also be a noun or a pronoun or a gerund or a clause. Now let us move on to few patterns of simple sentences. The first pattern is obviously a verb. just the verb. Without a verb, a sentence cannot be complete. A verb is essential to make a sentence. It is the heart of a sentence. So verb must be there. So we place just the verb. Let us say, for example, talk, walk, run, sit, eat, go. All these are one word verbs. They all show some action and they are all commands. So they are imperative. One word imperative sentence. It's a complete sentence. It starts with a capital, it ends with a full stop, and it's an imperative sentence. It's a command given. Run, walk, talk, move, go, sit. Now the question remains, who runs, who walks, who sits, who talks? So the who is the subject, which is implied, which is hidden. You run, you talk, you walk. The you part is hidden, it is implied. It is not explicit, it is not visible. Similarly, go, talk, you talk. Understood? So we can have just the verb, which is actually a subject, which is hidden, and a verb. The second pattern is where the subject is visible and we have a verb. For example, Mary talks. Who talks? Mary. Mary is talking. So Mary, the subject is visible. Mary talks. The subject can be a noun or a pronoun. Here, Mary is a proper noun. We can replace it with the pronoun. She talks. She is a pronoun. Similarly, we can say Robert eats, he eats, Stephen runs, he runs. Clear? Now, verbs that do not have an object are known as intransitive verbs, whereas verbs that have an object are known as transitive verbs. So here we have just subject and a verb. So the verb is intransitive. Yes, a verb can be transitive, it can be intransitive, it can be both also. We will see the examples later on. Now this pattern is clear to you. Subject which is visible plus verb. Okay, now let us move on to another pattern. Subject, verb, object. This is the general pattern of English language, and most of the sentences are formed in this way only. So subject is I, love is the verb, books is the object. Similarly, she is baking a cake, he plays with his friends. So he is the subject, plays is the verb, with his friends is the object. Clear? Shall I move on? Any questions, please ask. Yes, plays. Yes, he plays with his friend. Yes, plays here is a transitive verb because it has an object, with his friends. Play can be a intransitive verb or a transitive verb. Here he plays with his friends. Plays is a transitive verb because it has an object. Now supposing we make it as an intransitive verb, then we say he played. P-L-A-Y-E-D. He played. Full stop. So here it is just the subject and the verb. Played is an intransitive verb because intransitive verbs do not have an object. Clear? Okay. Now let us move on to another pattern. Subject, verb and a noun. For example, they are lawyers. They is the subject, are verbs, and lawyers is a noun. Now this noun can be preceded by an article. Article a and the. Let us see an example. He is an athlete. He is an athlete. He, subject, is verb and article, athlete, noun. Similarly, we can say Sheila is a nurse. Now let us move to another format where it is subject, verb plus adjective. For example, she is pretty. She is the subject, verb is, pretty is the adjective. We can have an article before a subject. For example, the house is big. The is the article, house is the subject, is the verb, big is the adjective. Similarly, the plant is green, the earth is round, the sun is hot. Yes, all these are subject, verb, adjective. Now, another format is subject, verb and adverb. Now look at this format. The adverb comes after the verb. An adverb can be placed anywhere. It can come in the beginning, it can come in the middle, it can come in the end. It can be placed anywhere. It actually depends on the style of the writer. Mostly it depends on the context, where the focus is, where the emphasis is. Like for example, Martha walked slowly. Martha is the subject, walked is the verb, slowly is the adverb. Generally, words ending with ly are adverbs. So here we have Martha walked slowly. We can also write Martha slowly walked or slowly, comma, Martha walked. So slowly comes in the beginning, it can come in the middle, it can come in the end. It actually depends on the context and the style of the writer. But for people who are learning English, for ESL students especially, since you are all ESL students, try to follow this. Verb plus adverb. Don't place the adverb in the beginning or in the middle. Place it at the end of the verb. This way you will make less mistakes. Once you master this, then you can place the adverb any way you like. But right now follow this: subject, verb plus adverb. So the adverb comes after the verb. Another example is Stephen is here. Steve is the subject, is the verb, and here is the adverb. Trees are everywhere. Clear? Now another format is adjective, subject and verb. Now see, the adjective comes before the subject. What is the subject? Subject is a noun or a pronoun. So the adjective comes before the noun or the pronoun. It does not come after. We do not say subject, adjective, verb. We say adjective, subject, verb. For example, the big house collapsed. The is an article. We can have an article also in front of an adjective. Big is an adjective. House is the subject. Collapsed is the verb. The green grass swayed. The beautiful girl danced. In all these sentences, the adjective comes prior to the noun, prior to the subject. So, beautiful girl. We do not say the girl beautiful danced, or the grass green swayed, or the house big collapsed. We say the big house collapsed, the green grass swayed, the beautiful girl danced. So the adjective comes prior to the subject. Remember this, because ESL students make a mistake here. So understand this very carefully. Verb comes prior to an adverb, and adjective comes prior to the noun. Okay? Now let us move to another format. Adjective, subject, verb and an adverb. So here the adjective comes before the noun and the verb comes before the adverb. So this format is correct. This is the general format that we shall follow. For example, the green grass swayed gently. We can say gently the green grass swayed, or the green grass gently swayed. So the adverb comes in the beginning, in the middle or in the end. Adverb can come anywhere. But we right now place it at the end. So we say the green grass swayed gently. Similarly, the beautiful girl danced gracefully. So the verb comes prior to the adverb. Clear? There can be many formats. There can be several formats. What I am listing are the general simple sentence patterns which are very helpful for ESL students, English as a second language students. If these patterns are followed, then the learning of the English language becomes much more faster and much more accurate. Now let us say this last format. Here the article can precede an adjective. Like for example, the big house collapsed suddenly on the road. The is an article, big adjective, house subject, collapsed is a verb, suddenly is an adverb, on the road is a prepositional phrase. Why is it a prepositional phrase? It's a phrase. Phrase is a group of words. It is a prepositional phrase because it has a preposition in it and it starts with prepositions. On, in, at, these are all prepositions. So it's a prepositional phrase. If it consists of nouns, then it is a noun phrase. If it consists of verb, then it's a verb phrase. Here it is a preposition, so it's a prepositional phrase. On the road. So the big house collapsed suddenly on the road. Or the beautiful girl danced gracefully at the event. Or the green grass swayed gently in the breeze. In all these sentences, follow the word order. Who, what, how, where, when, why. This is the order. Okay, now I'll give you some tips. The first tip is that you must follow the word order. What is the word order? Who, what, how, where, when, why. So who shows the subject, what shows the verb and the object. So here the sentence is complete. Now you may want to add more information. So you may say how. That is the manner, and place and time. Place is where, time is when. And you may also have a reason. You can say why. An acronym may be SWOMPT, SVOMPT, SWOMPT. Subject, verb, object, manner, place, time. This is the order that you follow. And you may add why, which is the purpose or the reason. Let us see an example. He drives a car. This is a complete sentence in itself. He drives a car. Full stop. Who drives a car? He drives a car. What is he driving? He's driving a car. So he is the subject, drives the car is the predicate. In the predicate drives a car, where is the verb and the object? Verb is drives, a car is the object. So he drives a car is a complete simple sentence. So we have finished who and what. In who and what the sentence is complete. because we have the subject, verb and the object, SVO. Clear? Now we want to add some more information. An adverb answers how. Now adverbs generally end with ly, so we say he drives a car slowly. This is also a complete sentence. He drives a car slowly. We want to add more information. Where? Place is where? On the road. That's a prepositional phrase, on the road. He drives a car slowly on the road. Now we add more information. When? So when is the time? So in the evening, in the afternoon, in the early morning, at 4 p.m., at 3 a.m., at 12 noon, at midnight. You can write any time. So let us say he drives a car slowly on the road in the afternoon. Now we add more information and we say why. He drives a car slowly on the road in the afternoon. Why? Because there is heavy traffic. Or you can say for there is heavy traffic. Instead of because, you can also write for. For there is heavy traffic. Now for is coordinating conjunction. So before a coordinating conjunction, you place a comma. So you place a comma and then write for there is heavy traffic. This is the order that you follow. Who, what, how, where, when, why. Now adjectives must come before nouns. She is a beautiful girl. She is a girl beautiful. No, this is wrong. Clear? Similarly, we place verbs before an adverb. So verb comes first and then comes the adverb. Verb plus adverb. Previously it was noun plus adjective. Here it is verb plus adverb. Clear? Okay. When a verb comes and if you have an adverb, then don't put the adverb in between the verb and the object. Don't separate the verb from its object. For example, let us say, he ate his dinner quietly. In this sentence, he is the subject, ate is the verb, object is dinner, quietly is the adverb. So we write, he ate his dinner quietly. We do not write, he ate quietly his dinner. Why? Because we are separating the verb from its object. Quietly separates ate and dinner. This creates a problem and this makes the sentence incorrect. Because you cannot separate the verb from its object. Clear? Okay. With respect to size, go from a smaller size to a bigger size. For example, a building is smaller than a street. Now a street is smaller than a city. A city is smaller than a country. So go from a building to a street to a city to a country. For example, say, Sarah bought a dress from a boutique in Steinway Street in New York. Let us say there is a girl named Sarah who has bought a dress from a boutique which is in Steinway Street in New York. We can also say that Sarah bought a dress in Steinway Street in New York from a boutique. Or we can say Sarah bought a dress in New York from a boutique in Steinway Street. Now, we have to arrange it from small to big. Go from lower to higher. Go from smaller to bigger. So we write Sarah bought a dress from a boutique in Steinway Street in New York. So the boutique comes first, which is smaller than the street, which is smaller than the city. Clear? Okay. Well, with verbs, you have to remember that they can be intransitive, they can be transitive, or they can be both. For example, she walks. Now, walks here is a verb, but it is an intransitive verb because it does not have an object. We can add the object and say, she walked a kilometer yesterday, or she walks a mile every day. Let us say she walks a mile every day. Now she is the subject, walks is the verb, a mile every day is the object. But the verb is transitive here because it has an object. Remember that listening improves speaking and reading improves writing. So the more you read, the more better you will write, and the more you listen, the more better will you speak. And you must have a variety of materials at your disposal. Expose yourself to a variety of materials. Read books, read newspapers, read magazines, listen to podcasts, see films, see videos, and speak with your friends over the telephone, face to face. Have regular conversations with family, friends, colleagues. So expose yourself to a variety of materials in English language. Okay? Now you have understood the simple sentence patterns. So I'll give you a list of words. Open up page 10, I suppose. Yes, it is on page 10. Now there's a list of words. From them, select at least 10 words and write 10 sentences. One sentence should not take more than 1 minute, so 10 sentences should take 10 minutes. Ready? Okay, please start. Thank you.